Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Buongiorno, a tutti quanti. Good morning. I'm Larry Kay for Tinexta. Welcome to the presentation on Tinexta Cybersecurity, which we have announced late last night. And with me, there is Pierandrea Chevallard, CEO, anche Oddone Pozzi, our CFO, as well as Marco Comastri, who is the new head of the cybersecurity unit. If you will, we will start off with a presentation that is available also on our website, and then followed by a question and answer period. Please utilize raising your hand and we'll be able to open up the microphone and we'll proceed with that. But without further ado, pass the microphone over to Pierandrea.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Well, as you know through the press release of yesterday, Tinexta creates a new player in cybersecurity that offers digital security, digital identity. We signed yesterday the binding agreements to acquire 3 businesses. Corvallis, exactly the project and solutions division that includes also R&D activities. Yoroi, which is one of the most advanced players in the sector, and which will incorporate Sybase and Media Service, which are 2 smaller companies, and Swascan, an innovative company that operates through security testing cloud platforms. It means that we have, through the 3 companies we are acquiring, we are creating a quite powerful business unit which will operate in the cybersecurity fields. I would say it's the natural evolution of the Tinexta group towards services with a high digital content and focused on areas where the market demand is growing fast. The share of group revenues in the digital sector will grow from 40% to 55%. In line with the strategy of our group. I think in the past we showed a quite important capability to execute M&A transactions in a successful way. We made, in the last 5-6 years, we made about 16 acquisitions. We invested more than 200 million euros. I would say they were always successful. They created the present value of Tinexta. We always had an approach towards growth based on organic growth and on acquisitions. And what we are announcing today is exactly along the line of a strategy of our group. Questa è la parte.
Now, if you don't mind, we'll pass the microphone over to Marco Comastri, who will talk about the business strategy.
Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. What I'd like to take you through, it's the concept of the project. First of all, the target we have is to support small and large companies into the arena of the digital environment through an IT platform that will be more secure. Cybersecurity represents a strategic infrastructure for the country, certainly an essential asset for citizens, companies, and for the social environment in general. We believe that cybersecurity also represents a critical factor to make the companies better competing in international environment, as well as it represents an expanding factor in terms of technology, together with other market trends such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and IoT. Cybersecurity offers an answer to the digitalization platform that certainly becomes more and more a priority for many Western European countries. It's a relevant and rapidly growing business, and for Tinexta specifically, as Pier Andrea already said, it's a natural extension of the digital trust offering, as well as an opportunity to better satisfy our customer base, which is pretty large. In terms of market, the total market, the worldwide market, is expected to be above 120 billion, and the trend for the future it's quite impressive. We expect to have a compound growth rate of plus 10%. The European market, it's a fourth of the total market, and the trend of growth, it's very similar to the worldwide one. Coming to the Italian market, the size of this market in 2020, it's around 2 billion. And the growth for the future, it's very sustainable, in the range of plus 9%. In terms of reference market, we will be targeting the services market, which is 1.2 billion, of which 900 million are represented by the enterprise solutions and 300 million the small and medium enterprise, which we believe it will be growing on average more than the large enterprise. In terms of player of the Italian market, you can see in the slide the split between hardware, software, and services. As already indicated, the focus market is the services market, where we believe we have an opportunity to establish a national company with critical mass, which will be focused on cybersecurity. The way we have designed the project, it's to agglomerate an IT solution together with specialized partners, together with specialized companies. In this way, we believe that the integration of the group will become certainly easier, and we believe that in this way we can make the critical mass in a quicker time. We are also very active to establish partnership with other players that can be served through our go-to-market model according to the offering we will be proposing to the market. The companies we have acquired are Corvallis, an IT project and solution division, Yoroi, which will include Sybase with the brand of emails, Media Service, and Yoroi itself, and Swascan, which is a cybersecurity software and platform for management of data security. In terms of offering, this is a pretty complex slide, which will be, of course, explored further in the next period in order to establish the better offer into the market. Our aim is to have a global opportunity for customers, large customers and small customers, to find their own solution into this offering. Starting from the strategic and transformation plan, we will be serving other opportunities, opening and identifying the needs of an organization. The operation part, it's the one related to the Service Operations Center, the Computer Emergency Response Team, where we'll be operating with, we believe, a high ticket of transaction. The management is pretty important for us because the identity management, we believe, is the natural extension that can be integrated together with the offering of InfoCert. The area of application, every large company and small company today needs to create new application. And to make new application, it's important to have the security inside since day one, since the moment of development. And that's another area where we will be operating. As you can see in this slide, you can see dark blue and light blue, because we think that the light blue is the areas that can be explored with IT solution competencies. The dark blue are the areas that will be explored with specialized competencies. And that's why the integration of the three companies. If we go to the next slide, you can see how the three companies are mapping the offering and the way we will be developing the activities in an integrated business, and that's our main goal. We will be, of course, leveraging the Tinexta corporate model in order to pursue efficiencies. And we think that we can grow faster than the reference market, and the profitability will be growing in an accelerated manner versus the revenue, for the reason I just explained above. We also have some challenges in front of us, and first of all, the skills in the cybersecurity space are scarce. We have already acquired a very strong relationship of this company with main universities in Italy, and specifically Corvallis as an academy with people already dedicated on cybersecurity, and by the end of this year, it will produce 25 new competences for the market. We believe that this kind of pattern will become an engine to create new competencies. We want to organize the newly acquired business into one single operational model, and we have harmonized the go-to-market, the incentive among them in order to satisfy the customer needs without an internal competition. For the small and medium enterprise, it's a reference market for us. It's the area where we operate already, and we want to invest on the cloud platform, which is owned by Swascan, to take it to the next level, and we want to scale this up in order to satisfy the large market, which in Italy represent one of the most important opportunities. We will be continuing also to evaluate additional opportunities in the market to continue acquiring the best-of-breed solution. More details of the strategic plan will be illustrated with Tinexta next 3-year plan. Just to wrap up, the critical elements of Tinexta cybersecurity to succeed are: number one, to reach the critical mass. We believe that with the critical mass, we will be in condition to serve large companies and small companies. We want to develop an integrated offering with InfoCert and incorporate capabilities and expertise, and of course managing the multi and large projects, as well as managing the volume scale represented by the small and medium enterprise. Finally, seek partnership with primary strategic players in the market will be one of the main topics of our agenda. Thank you very much.
Okay, we can turn now to Oddone. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Good afternoon, everybody. So let's move now in the financial segment with the key metrics and terms of the deal. As you can see here, the aggregate of the three businesses that for which we signed the agreement for acquisition delivered in 2019 on a pro forma basis revenues in excess of 61 million euro, with an EBITDA that is higher than 10%, equal to 6.7 million euro. Accordingly to the expectation that we have when we enter into the negotiation with the three businesses, based on the latest estimate, both revenue and EBITDA are expected to grow on a double-digit basis, estimating revenues for 67 million euro and EBITDA in the range of 8 million. So both metrics are estimated to grow at double-digit rates. The enterprise value of 100% at closing has been agreed among parties at 85 million euro, but we are going to acquire different percentages business by business. For Corvallis, we are expected to acquire, we acquired 70%, for Yoroi 60%, and for Swoscan 51%. Swoscan is expected to be closed during the current month, while the expectation of the closing for the other two businesses is 2021. We acquire now the majority stakes of the three business, and the agreement reached among parties is on a blending multiple in the range of 10-11 times estimated EBITDA of 2020, absolutely in the range of the trading multiples of M&A transaction occurred in this kind of business. We already also found an agreement on the put and call option to purchase the outstanding minority stakes that will take place after the approval of the balance sheet 2023, and the blended multiple is 8 times the forecast of 2023 EBITDA. So the transaction, as you may see here, is a quite complex transaction that for which we look at it as a whole. We arrived to this combination as just Marco explained. So we are looking as a strategic unit that is going to combine together the three different businesses. If you go into more depth, the first part of the transaction that will occur at the above mentioned dates calls for around 48 million of net price for the three majority stake I've talked about. This includes also an earnout of 0.6 million that relates to the forecast 2020. On top of this, the group has 7 million of debt that are related to Tinexta group, and Tinexta share of the debt of 10 million that will be part of the transaction. This is the part that we will be bearing interest as a use of cash of debt. Of course, we will go after the closing. We are going to put in the books also the present value basis of the put and call option for the outstanding minority part, and for sure, of course, this is not an interest-bearing cost. So overall, as mentioned before by Mr. Chevallard, this is a key and important investment for the group. Is a quite important level of investment. So the total consideration of the deal is in excess of 100 million. For which, as we already defined, 47.8 are related to the first part, plus the financial indebtedness that we will consolidate, and the put option. Although this is very important, we are strongly confident that on a pro forma basis, the ratio between net financial position and EBITDA will stay lower than 2 times, and this is absolutely a ratio for which we feel confident to handle. And as you can see from the last data, the capability of the group to continue to generate free cash flow is absolutely sustainable. The total balance sheet impact when we will complete the three transactions will be 104 million euro. We are expecting to close in 2020 just the Swoscan deal. And so this will account in the 2020 year-end balance sheet, will account for 13.5 million, of which 4.2 is the price paid for the 51%, and 9.3 will be the puts that we are planning to exercise in 2024.
Thank you. Just a few words. The Tinexta Group will be organized on 4 business unit. I would say quite in a very proportional way. The digital trust will account for about 35%, the cyber at the start 20%, and so on. It means that our strategy to create a platform, a service platform for our main customer basis. It means finance and banking from one side, and on the other side, the corporate will be better achieved. The cybersecurity business unit forecasts to grow revenues faster than its reference market and improve its marginality even faster. It means that we are very confident that the new business unit will be creating value for the Tinexta Group in a very rapid time. The total investment, as Oddone explained, of the operation equals 104 million euro. Which are absolutely coherent with our strategy, with our very prudent financial management. It means that we consider any way to stay under 2.5 over 2.5 times EBITDA. It means that we'll be able, through the high cash flow generation, to be in a very prudent position. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierandrea. We'll now be opening the Q&A part of the call. We would ask you to utilize with the Zoom app to raise your hand, and we will respond to your questions. So please, one caution, given the nature of things here, we would please speak slowly and clearly so that we can all understand. And I may as well, once in a while, do some translation. So please, go ahead. Russell Poynton, if you want to go ahead.
Afternoon all. I have a few questions, please. First of all, with respect to the competitive environment on slides 10 and 11, you highlight the consultants are competitors. Could you just talk about how your services rank versus theirs? At what stage do you have the scale where you are considered a credible player? Will they be competitors with yours, or will you have a kind of relationship where you compete on some projects, but also they may partner with you? And aligned with that, in terms of gaining your credibility in the space, could you just talk about how you get to those aspirations in terms of how much more capital might need to be invested? Thank you very much.
Sure, this is Marco. I think, first of all, today, if we analyze the offering in the services space, there are two kinds of companies. First one are international company operating in Italy with a specific division on cybersecurity. Or we have national company with a small scale. So our aim is to position the newly announced company as the national player with a bigger critical mass, Of course, playing in the space with more credibility versus international player because our country footprint in terms of resources, in terms of positioning, and in terms of ability to be better connected with the market. Special reference will be the small and medium enterprise, where Tinexta have already a strong footprint. I also think that we are open to partnership. More importantly, the partnership will be driven by competencies that other partners can provide, and they can leverage our go-to-market model, which will be based on the newly acquired company and through the other companies of Tinexta that they already interact with the enterprise. In terms of positioning today, we already represent a significant revenue in the market. The newly acquired company are very specialized, especially Yoroi and Swascan. They already have a solution which is considered best of breed in the market, and we want to impollinate with this solution the IT player which has strong relationship with customer, with large customer, and this will open opportunities to the specialized companies.
Is that good enough for you, Russell?
Yes, also just to talk about, you say partnerships and there may be further acquisitions. Could you just talk about how much capital you may need to invest over the medium term, I guess in terms of acquisitions, in order to get to where you may want to be?
We are continuously analyzing the market, and we think that the market may pop up opportunities to cover offering that we don't have today, or market segment. But at the moment, we don't have any material plan to share, and we will be, of course, making these, when this analysis will be more complete, we will let you know at the right time.
Okay, great. If we can move on to Carlo Maritano.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I just have a couple of questions. The first one is on the growth potential of the acquired companies. You said that you expect to outperform the market in Italy in the next couple of years. Do you expect, do you expect a double-digit growth rate, I imagine, but is something much closer to 10% or 20, 30%, just to have an idea of the growth targets of these kind of companies? And the second one is strictly related and refers to the marginality of these acquisitions. So in 2020, you expect a EBITDA margin of around 12%. What is a normal margin in the long term that you aim to achieve? I imagine there is a lot of potential of scales in this business. Then on products, can you provide us some color on the kind of product that you think could integrate with the product already offered by the digital trust business? And the final question is related to the financing of the deal. What is the average cost of the new financing that you started to finance the deal? Thank you.
Okay, this is Mark again. So in terms of offering, I think in terms of performance, our aim is to grow more than the reference market. We already said, to be completely precise on how much we will be growing, we like to make the analysis that we have done more precise, and when we will have the business plan, we will certainly we will disclose our plans specifically on cybersecurity. The point I want to make is that the market is large. I think there are a lot of opportunities that can be covered through our offering. Therefore, I'm very optimistic that our capability to cover this offer will make a plan which will be sustainable and above average in terms of performance. In terms of profitability, we have a long track record in Tinexta to acquire company and to leverage the acquisition properly. We will put together some areas of staff for this company, and this will generate already savings. That's why we think, and we are announcing that the earnings will be growing faster than the revenue, because we already have a structure behind that will sustain. In terms of, I think the other question was...
Absolutely. As we already announced in the past months, we went through some renegotiation of lines and some extension of other financial lines. As an overall group, now we are running a cost included of upfront, included of derivatives cost, that is below 1.3%. So what we have already negotiated is absolutely within this margin for the banks, and further lines we are going to finalize are still under this range. So we are we are having access to a debt at a real good price.
Follow-up comment or question, Carlo?
It's okay, thank you.
Great. We can proceed with Andrea Bonfa.
Il microfono staccato.
Okay, now you should be able to hear me. Is that okay?
Yes, please proceed, Andrea.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, good afternoon to everybody again. Very quickly, I'm curious on what is part of my question were already answered. So I'm curious to understand what will be the role of Corvallis in this cybersecurity unit, because for what I read, it's essentially a system integrator for the time being, but they are definitely willing to expand in that area. And secondly, overall, it seems that the company you acquire have a relatively low profitability for let's say cybersecurity industry. If you can elaborate on that and what is again the potential in the long term, and if the fact that you need to address the scale issue will require higher investment and hence let's say structurally lower margin. Just a discussion with you on this point. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is Mark again. First of all, let me clarify. Corvallis, it's an IT solution and project company, but they already have a division dedicated on cybersecurity. So this is the first step in the right direction, we believe, and that's why we have evaluated Corvallis as one of the three players. There are also, as I think described into the offering, areas of the offering that can be explored through IT competencies, through IT solution and project capabilities. And we think that a company like Corvallis, they have the right level of skills to take this to the next and to the next level. Let me also point out one important thing. Corvallis will also bring into the table three important things: a strong relationship with customer, with strong contract that are repeatable, and this will open the opportunity to fill up additional opportunities of customers, thanks to the footprint that Corvallis already have into these large customers.
Andrea, with relation to your last question about the profitability, if you look at the figures related to Yoroi and Swanscan, we need to take in consideration that the cybersecurity segment is a quite brand new segment. So in most of the cases, the valuation of the company are based on the revenue, because most of the company are already in an operating loss position because they are in the first stage of their development. If we look at Yoroi and Swascan, they are already overcome this position, so they are already in a profitable position. And this is a very good news for us, and this allows us to start from a much solid point. Of course, this is the initial profitability of this company, and so we do expect leveraging, as Marco mentioned very clearly, also on the capability to go to the market through Corvallis, that this will enable a further and significant increase of the profitability.
Thank you very much. If I may, and I don't question, do you expect to have some integration cost to again integrate this company or not? Or just we do not expect significant cost of integration so far. Any case, further details information of the plan will occur after the closing, when we are going to present the group 3 years plan. But as of today, we do not expect significant integration costs. Okay, thank you very much again.
You're welcome.
If I can just add, one of the important points looking forward is that these companies, these businesses will be integrated as well, not only on a business point of view among themselves, but also within the Tinexta business model, such that last year, for example, Tinexta undertook an investment in SAP, undertook an investment in also in terms of a CRM platform, and those in particular will be very critical in integrating them among themselves, but also within the rest of the group.
Thank you again.
Okay, there are over 50 of you out there. If anyone wants to raise their hand, please do. We are here to answer your questions. I see Isacco Brambilla.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 3 questions. Thanks for taking my questions. The first one is on the revenue structure of the companies that you acquired. I was curious to understand whether we're talking about multi-annual contracts or contracts which are usually designed for ad hoc projects. And also, if you can elaborate a little bit more on the customer base of the acquired companies, I mean in terms of portfolio concentration and diversification of the customers by sector. Then the final question is on the critical mass. You have been mentioning many times the aim to reach sort of critical mass, starting from some 70 million euros annual turnover. Which level in terms of critical mass would make you satisfied for this new cybersecurity business unit?
Isacco, could you just repeat the first part of your question, because it wasn't so easy to understand before the question of the customer base?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just having an idea of the portfolio concentration of in terms of customer base of the businesses you acquired, if there is any relevant segment, and the diversification by each of the 3 businesses.
Okay.
Great, okay. Go ahead, Marco.
So in regard to the question related to the nature of the contract with customer, we have several contracts already in place that are multi-year contracts. The contracts, of course, are based on renewals, but especially Corvallis has a very long tradition to operate with the large customers since many years. So we trust to have a source of revenue for the future coming from this strong relationship. In terms of customer base, just to simplify, we believe that Corvallis and Yoroi are more oriented into the large customer base, while Swascan is more oriented into the small and medium enterprise. Swascan already have several relationships in the range of hundreds with small customers. The transaction they do based on vulnerability assessment and penetration test is on an average of 20-30K, which is exactly in line with the market requirements. And as I said before, through additional investments, we will be scaling up the cloud platform of Swascan to the next level to serve more of the customer base of Tinexta and maybe other customers in the market. For the critical mass, we already think to have a very solid base in terms of revenue. Today, I don't think there are any other national players dedicated to cybersecurity with this kind of revenue. Of course, we are competing with the international player, but we believe to be in condition to grow our customer base and our revenue in the future, as I already described. Of course, we will do our best to catch the max of the opportunities.
A follow-up at all, or if not, we can go ahead. Okay, thank you, Isacco. Then we'll go on to Roberto Cassone, if you will, please.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. It's Roberto Cassone here from Orbis Capital. I have one question. I'm just curious in understanding. I'm imagining that you will be offering products and you put all the products into solutions. How is it possible to export those products and solutions, maybe in countries where you already operate or where you just entered, like such as Germany, i.e., how can we imagine the cybersecurity to expand these operations outside Italy with the current product range? Thank you.
Yeah. I think this is a very interesting question, and the international dimension is one of the areas where we want to develop the companies into. I think we have two critical success factors here. Number one, the average cost of labor we have in Italy, it's, in my opinion, very well competing with other markets. If we think about France, UK, Germany, certainly I think in Italy we have a pretty strong level of competencies coming from universities with a labor cost which is more interesting. And that's why we think we can go outside of Italy with an interesting offering. The second dimension is related to the integration I described with the electronic identity we have in-house. Integrating these two offerings together, we will have an opportunity to be in the market with a unique offering that will be, in my opinion, a critical success factor.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Grazie a te, Roberto. Paolo Cipriani, if you'd like to ask a question.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted just to maybe a bit more detail regarding the IT skills. You mentioned during your presentation which way you think you can recruit them and attract to the company.
I think we have a plan to address two different areas. Number one is the market. We think that with this kind of initiative, we can become attractive, because many people in the cybersecurity space are very dedicated to work on a company which is talking about cybersecurity only. And we will be doing this. So we think to become more attractive for experts of the cybersecurity market, and that will be one source of filling up the resource gap. The second, it's through people coming from the campus, which will be embracing the training that we plan to do in-house. And the academy that we already have in Corvallis is an example. We want to reinforce this kind of muscle and take it to the next level, to create tens of people that will have certainly a bright future, because cybersecurity can represent a significant area of work for individuals, and we will be helping these kind of people to find the right company to stay with us for a long time.
Okay. And in terms of cross-selling, since you have a good part of your clients at Tinexta, they are also small medium enterprise, do you think you can have some kind of cross-selling in the future with the cybersecurity division?
Yes, we think there is an opportunity for cross-selling. If you think about the sales force we have in Tinexta Group, in the different companies today, Warrant, Comarch, Innolva, we believe that this sales force will be in condition to identify opportunities, especially for the cloud service-based offering we have, and this will be a significant source of cross-selling.
If I must, I might like to add, just talking with Danilo Cattaneo, he mentioned that even in the past he has already had some relatively small collaboration with Swascan, and that he sees that as an area, given the 500,000 clients online clients that InfoCert has, that the immediate cross-sellings there, opportunities are rather, they exist. They are concrete. Let's say.
Okay, thank you.
If there are any further questions. If not, then we can move on. No, as they say in the auctions, going. Any last chance? The last chances. Here they go. Going once. Any hands? Going twice. Andre, finished. Andre, would you like to say anything?
Thank you very much to everybody. I hope we were able to explain in a quite deep way the new deal we are starting. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you one and all.
Bye.